Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. I've got a little Kelso lore for you guys today. I've got several designs. I got 2 handfuls of designs, but most of them never come to life, or I just haven't found the right people to make it, or a whole bunch of different excuses for not having them made, I guess. But I got it was a, I think, Ultimate Survival Technology Machete, a hand-me-down something. Somebody had gave it to me. It had a plastic handle on it that was about half busted, and I cut it off, and I was going to put a new handle on it, but I said, man, you know what, I think I'm just going to use this steel. So I got playing around with it and came up with this shape. This is that machete, and it had a very, to me, this is how I feel about it. Like, you guys can call it whatever you want to, but it had a very Kelsmuk feel to it. Like, it just reminded a good skinning tool. And I've been inspired by all these old timers that get out there and do stuff, so I called this the Kelsmuk, just like a Kelso version of the Kelsmuk knife. So I made this with an angle grinder and a bench grinder. I just kind of cut it out with a cut-off wheel, and I took my time with the edge to try to get a decent edge on there that wasn't, I didn't burn the material up when I was making it. And I made it, and I'd played with it for a long time. And my buddy Jerry Saunders, I was talking to him one day and was like, hey dude, he owns Corvus Survival, or Corvus Knife and Tool. And I was like, hey dude, if I send you some material, you think you can make a knife for me? And he was like, yeah, absolutely. And he made me one, and it's inside, it's put up. But he made a beautiful version of the Kelsmuk in 80 CRV2. And I used it for quite some time, just to get the feel for it. And after it was the way that I wanted it to be, and it kind of flowed into that pretty quick. It became, I knew exactly what I wanted it to do when I made it. So the only difference was the one that he made, we didn't put any scales on, and I did it the same way. I wrapped it with this glue-soaked jute. And I had a really awesome rawhide sheath I had made for this out of a dog chew. And one day I was looking for it and couldn't find it, didn't think nothing else about it. Well, I went to clean the little corner area where my dog sleeps, my old dog. She's been gone for 2 years now. But I went to clean out her area, and there was a piece of paracord in it. And I thought, what in the world? And then when I got moving more stuff around, I found this knife. And you can see where she chewed, I guess to get the knife out, but she chewed the end of my handle up here, trying to get that out. So my prototype is pretty emotional for me, but it's pretty cool. This is something that I can always look at and you know, cherish that. But anyway, after my 80 CRV2 one, I said, well, I'm gonna approach, and Jerry said the same thing. I needed to approach somebody, one of these knife companies, and see if they can make another version of it. So I went to the good folks at LT Wright, and I did, this was the first, this is the prototype, this is the very first one, the Kelsmuk, and it's 01 Scandi 9-degree spine, natural canvas micarta with brass hardware. And it's awesome. It had squared off scales at first, and I just ground those down just to put some angles there on the top corners. But the first run was all like this: natural canvas, brass hardware, a JRE sheath, same deal, 01 Scandi. Well, the next batch, there's less than 50 of these in the whole world. I'm sure there'll be more one day, but right now there's not. And I had them do half of my batch with scales on it, and the other half of the batch I had them skeletonized, or not really skeletonized, they just don't have any scales on them, and they're stamped, so we know which one didn't have scales and which one did have scales. But I gave the option to do a jute wrap on it yourself, or a different wrap if you wanted to use it without the scales. It's like a PSK, and I think there may be like 10 of them, I think, that have the ability to be wrapped. I have the first one of the wrapped version, and like I said, this is the prototype for the Kelsmuk. So this thing was this guy. It's pretty cool to think that a dog chewed a piece of machete blade turned into this beautiful little monster. It's a good carving knife. It's 01 Scandi. 01 Scandi, especially in LT Wright knives, is super carvy. Like it's ridiculously carvy. But as for your basic utility purposes, this thing does it. And I have it in one of the JREs that you can wear either around your neck or on a belt, and I just normally wear it on a belt. But I got a little kit on there too. Of course, you know I'm not gonna have something in there and not have a kit on it. But it was super fun watching this thing, become a usable tool for other people to enjoy. It's pretty awesome. I don't know there was lots of talking, emailing, going back and forth, but if you guys have ideas or would like to buy some knives, have them, pay for them to have them made, it's a good option from LT. Shoot them an email and just talk to them about it. I mean, that's what I end up doing. As I said, I had to. There will be a minimum. I think there's a minimum for like each piece of steel they use. They can get X amount of blades out of it, and that's how they do the minimums. Like if they buy you a piece of steel and they're gonna cut it all up, you have to buy the minimum deal, like how many they get cut out of one piece. But it's not a big deal. They have good prices, but it's something I would suggest if you guys are wanting to create or have someone create. Go for it, because if I wouldn't had followed my little craftiness, it never would have come to light, I don't think. But anywho, this is the story of how a machete became the Kelsmuk. Alright guys, look, y'all have a good day. Have a good week. If you like the videos, feel free to subscribe. We got a lot more coming. LT Wright's got a bunch of creators that's making stuff for them, so don't miss out. But anywho, take it easy. Later.